welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell, this video is going to be mainly covering all the cases of John Wayne Gacy murder cases. And for those of you guys who don't know, he's really well known for being like a serial killer clown and just pretty much like torturing young boys and killing them. Yeah, this video just goes over everything. Also want to say really quick, I am going to try my best to start doing research on 2 cases at once. I just usually only do it on 1, just because I like to like make sure I have everything, and I know the uploads aren't as much as I want them to be because I want them to be weekly, but I'm gonna start getting into like doing research on 2 cases at once. There's no like gap with my videos and you guys aren't waiting for like weeks. And yeah, I really hope like you guys enjoy this series. I actually really like doing research on these videos and talking about these cases and just talking about true crime and like murder and everything like that. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. It is a new year. We're still in pandemic though, so wear your mask if you go out or try to stay home so you can get the fuck out of this pandemic, because I really just want to go back to fucking normal. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. And really quick, if you are new here, thank you for clicking my channel and thank you for choosing to watch my video. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on all my social media links down below. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back and not giving up on me, because we all know my uploading schedule is very inconsistent, but I am changing that this year. That is one of my goals this year, to change and to be more consistent on this channel. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm gonna stop talking now and just jump right into the video. The eyeshadow palette I'm gonna be going in with is the Morphe and Lisa Frank palette. But really quick, if you guys see me look off to the side, I'm just reading off of my Google Docs because I wrote everything down just so I'm not like going all over the place. As you guys can tell by the title down below, this video is going to be on the killer clown John Wayne Gacy. We're just gonna jump right into it, but we're gonna go back a little bit to his like earlier life and kind of just like see what his like upbringing was. So before John Wayne Gacy, or I'm just gonna call him Gacy in this video. So before Gacy was known as a serial killer clown, he was born in Chicago, Illinois on March 17, 1942 to John Stanley Gacy and his mother Marion Elaine Robinson. His sister actually sat down and did a interview with a show on here. I believe it's just like a regular show on a true crime network, but they uploaded it to here as well. And it is called, I believe, Monster in My Family. And she pretty much like sat down and kind of just like went over like what her brother did and like what it was like growing up with him. I'll have that linked in the description box down below. She also sat down with one of her brother's victims, sister, and as well as one of what would have been John's first victims actually sat down and explained like what he did and how he got out. In that interview, John's sister pretty much said that when they were growing up, so pretty much John would always somehow set his father off, and his father mainly wanted John to be kind of like a manly man and didn't really like it when he was in the kitchen helping his mom decorate like cookies and stuff like that, and just helping her bake, and you know, like toxic masculinity. John's father's anger issues ended up resulting in them getting into a really big fight. And John ended up moving to Las Vegas, Nevada, and there he got married. And he was actually married twice. None of them really like, his marriages were never really successful. And the first wife that he actually was with recalled him like leaving and at like weird hours of the night and being seen with like a young man. One of John's wives actually ended up sitting down with an interviewer, pretty much said that one night when she realized that he left or was leaving his garage with a young man, and she so happened to just wait until John was gone. And she ended up going into the garage and found a blanket and a red light in the garage, and just never really brought it up to John because she didn't want him to know that she like went in there or like saw anything. Around 1964, a lot of red flags started popping up when it came to John, and one of them was the fact that he was arrested and charged for sodomizing 2 young men and served 18 months in jail, but also was let out of that jail for like good behavior and kind of like proving to the prison that he was not a danger to society and that he kind of like changed. He was very much a model prisoner, and a lot of the prison guards kind of like didn't really see an issue with like him being released back into the public. When he was in prison, he used all of the baking skills that and like cooking skills that he learned when he was growing up with his mom and from helping his mom in the kitchen to become the like head chef in prison, and provided like all the meals and like cooked all the meals for the prisoners that were in the jail as well. When John was released, he moved back in with his mom back in Chicago, and his whole family kind of just like played it off like this was like a thing of the past. They didn't really think that they had anything to worry about when it came to this, and they thought it was like kind of like a one-time incident and it was never really gonna happen ever again. Around this time, he was known for like throwing parties and dressing up as Pogo the Clown and hosting a bunch of parties for like kids in the neighborhood, and a lot of the kids that would go would be like family members, and a lot of people just kind of like trusted him. So when John ended up moving back to Chicago, he ended up finding success in a construction business he started up, and he also pretty much only really hired like younger men or like young boys because he didn't really have to pay them like the proper amount that he would have to pay like other construction workers. And he chalked this up when his sister asked him like why he wouldn't like hire people who like know what they're doing. He pretty much just said, oh, like I just want to hire people that are willing to learn, and he kind of just didn't really want to pay people the like proper like wages that like a construction worker would like get. And as you can just imagine, this is where kind of like everything kind of started to happen when it came to his murders, and he pretty much just had a plethora of like victims, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people in the town, a lot of young boys would go and work for him and didn't really complain about the actual work because they were just kind of excited to actually get work, because when you are kind of like younger, it's really hard to like find places that like want to hire you. Like in a lot of places they just like require you to have like a lot of experience. So one way that John would get his victims is he would pretend that he was a cop, and he would go riding around his town and would pick these boys up, and he would have one of those like fake police sirens or police lights in his car, and he would just go up to these boys and pretty much just tell them, oh, you're out past curfew, like you need to come with me. And obviously they don't really think anything of it. That's pretty much like how he would like get all of his victims and that were like not working for him. So another way, like when John actually got his victims in his house, one of the ways that he would kind of like trap them and torture them was he would pretty much just pretend like he was showing them magic tricks and stuff like that. One of John's victims actually sat down in the interview. He was pretty much supposed to be his first victim, but wasn't really successful because he was on the wrestling team. So pretty much what John ended up doing was he went to this young man's house when his family wasn't home, and pretty much was just playing it off like he was checking in on him. This young man happened to work with John at his construction company as well. So pretty much what John would do with his handcuffs is he would put it behind his back, and he would tell them that he's showing them a magic trick, and would proceed to tell them that they could do it as well, and like he wanted to show them. So what he would do is he'd put one of his hands, I believe, in the handcuffs, and somehow managed to get his hands out, and would tell the young boys that they could do it as well, and he wanted to show them. The young boys didn't really think anything of it, so they would obviously just go along with it, and then they would end up being in handcuffs, and that's kind of like how he would capture a lot of his victims. And this victim, who should have been his first victim, who actually got away, goes by the name of Tony. He ended up escaping. When John went into the other room, he put his hand behind his back and somehow managed to get out of the handcuffs. I believe he just slipped his hand out of it, and he pretended like his hands were still handcuffed. And when John came in and got closer to him, he managed to wrestle John to the ground and got on top of him and managed to put the handcuffs on him. And John just kind of like laughed it off and everything, and this young man continued to work for John because he didn't really think anything of it. Now when he sat down and did the interview, he kind of realized that he lucked out and pretty much got away with his life, and was very lucky that he got away because he could have been John's first victim. And this dude also happened to work with another one of John's victim that he sadly successfully killed. If I'm like acting weird, I literally have drank in like 3 cups of coffee, so I'm like cracked out a little bit. But the following day, Tony actually went to work, and he was known for working with this other victim of John's. I believe his name was Jacob, if I'm not mistaken. If I am wrong, I'm gonna put it on the screen for you guys. This young man actually went to John's house before he was expected to work. Like I believe it was like a day or so before. The other dude never showed up to work. Tony like started asking John like what was up, like where is he, and John just pretty much said, oh, he's on vacation. I believe it was Puerto Rico. He went somewhere random for a vacation, and they kind of just didn't really think about it, and Tony kind of just went about his day at work. Doing research on this, I realized like a lot of these young men ended up going to John's house to like either look for work or just to like go to John's house, which is kind of like weird. But Tony went back to John's house and happened to be in his garage and realized that there was freshly poured cement. He asked John what was up, like why did he do that. He like brought it up to John, and John pretty much just said, oh, like, yeah, I just had like a bunch of cracks in the floor, so I just wanted to fill them in. I mean, to be honest, I feel like if you're gonna like refill cracks, I think you would just like, to make it look even, just do the whole thing and not just like a section. I could be wrong, I don't lay cement down. One of the ways John ended up getting caught was a young man ended up going to John's house to look for work, and he was pretty much just like asking about working for John at his construction business, because it was a known like thing that like that was like his business, and like he was just like hiring a lot of people. He didn't go home and ended up going missing, and his family reported it to the cop, and they looked into like where his last place where he was before like he went missing, and it happened to be at a liquor store, and they looked at the surveillance camera and realized that John was there, and they kind of looked back into John's like background to see like who he is, and that was when they found out he was arrested like around 1964 for sodomizing 2 young boys, and that is when John was brought into custody. This is around the time that his house ended up getting searched by police, and he honestly thought he was going to get out safely and like nothing was gonna happen, no matter the amount of evidence that was against him. Really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and blend all this out, and I will be right back and to finish this all up. So when that young man went missing, his family obviously like reported to the police, and like I said, they brought in John into custody, and when they were doing a search of his house, they pretty much, John was trying to like win over the cops and didn't really think he was like going to get in trouble, which is kind of like crazy. So while they were doing the search of John's house, they came across a bunch of weird items that didn't really seem to like belong to John, like young like boys clothing, if that makes any sense, like smaller people's clothing, and like clothing that obviously wouldn't fit John. And they came across the last victim's class ring. They came across like a lot of like jewelry that just didn't like make sense, and a lot of items that just didn't really like seem like they would belong to John at all. While they were doing the search, they ended up looking in his crawl space, and that is when they ended up finding bodies in his crawl space. I believe he killed over, I think he killed over 33 plus people, if I'm not mistaken. I think it might just be 33. That's a lot of people, and I believe 26 of the bodies were found in his crawl space. And a crawl space, it's just like a little spot in your house that's like underneath your house kind of, and the other one I think it's like more for like storage. And the 3 other bodies were found beneath his house, like underneath his house. And when the investigators were like under his house, they realized when they came up with like a lot of like powder on them, and the powder that was on them was to kind of like take out the dampness out of the crawl space. I don't know if it's to like, I don't know if he was trying to like make sure like the bodies don't smell or like what, or I don't know what he was trying to do. But John ended up going to jail, and when John was in jail and convicted, pretty much a lot of families and a lot of parents took to the streets and like demanded that John get the electric chair, and like they were pretty much just saying, oh, if John's like killed, all the families will be able to rest like peacefully, and they will feel like justice has been served. And up to John's conviction and his actual execution date, he showed no remorse and still thought he was gonna get out regardless, like I said, of the amount of evidence that was brought up against him. He really thought like around this time like he could just win over the cops and stuff, and I don't know, he just thought he could be like friendly to them and that they wouldn't like press charges against him. He really thought he was like in the clear. Since like he was convicted, like his whole like nice guy persona wore off, obviously, and a lot of people saw who he truly was and the monster that he was. And I don't know all the specifics of like who was murdered, but I will put a picture of all the victims on the screen. And yeah, he was executed on May 10th, 1944. In the video, his sister actually, I think it was like a week or like probably a couple of days before John actually was killed or like pretty much like executed, I believe she was able to go see her brother for the last time. And if I can find the actual picture, I will put it up somewhere on the screen for you. She just pretty much goes on how it's like, she pretty much was saying like it was hard for her to like know like that was the last time she was ever gonna see her brother. And the pain that he caused wasn't good, obviously, for what he did and the actual crimes that he's committed. And it's actually kind of crazy, and it actually is really sad the amount of people that he actually did kill, because all these young men actually, they had such like a long life, like, you know what I mean? They were probably either graduating high school, or were in high school, and a lot of them were just looking forward to like just saving their money up and getting cars and just like simple like stuff that like high schoolers like look forward to, you know what I mean? Like they're looking forward to just starting their life, and it's actually really sad when you think about it. Like their lives literally were just like taken away so like carelessly just because it was a thing for John to do. Really quick, I go in with the lashes I literally have been using for like a minute, have been the Body Bee lashes in the style Extra. I usually use the Lily lashes in the style Miami or So Extra Miami, but I don't know why, but those like kind of just like aren't it for me anymore, and I don't like them. I like these just because they're more like bam, you know, and they look a little bit better. But really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down, and I will be right back to close out this video. Alright, so I am done, and I just went in and put my lashes on, and I went in with this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. I don't know how to like sharpen it, so like once it gets up to like down there, like once this is gone, I'm just gonna like throw it in the trash. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I just went in and finished the underneath of my eyes and put some mascara on and my lashes, and yeah, this is like the first time that I ever really finished a like video before I finished like my makeup. And I don't know if it's because I had too much coffee or like what it is, but I literally normally always take forever to talk, but this time it was different. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I have like less information on this one or like what it was. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is a new year, so this year I am going to be on top of just like uploading and everything, and not letting my channel just like fall to the wayside like I have in the past year. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see any other like specific cases or anything like that, let me know down below, and don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.